Hello. What's up? What's up, chat? Hi. Uh, how's it going? I'm here doing some more Patron deck reviews. I don't know if I'm going to stream next week, so I wanted to get some more deck reviews in. We'll see if I stream next week. Problem is I'm traveling for that LDXP Tacoma event, so I have to like get out my video early so I can schedule it and blah blah blah. So we'll see if I'll stream next week, but I want to get a few more of these in. Few more of these deck reviews in. Let me pull up. All right. Now this one I wanted to start with. Whoops, it opened in the wrong window. This one I want to start with just because this commander is so interesting. Now let me clone this deck real quick. There we go. Okay. So if you don't know this commander, it is Iumei the Last Visitor. It is 3 green for a 7/3 with legendary landwalk. And then a wall of flavor text. You saw an Azorius Temet deck on my Architect. Is that video coming soon? Oh, no. That was for the podcast. That was like 2 podcasts ago, where I talked about that deck. This commander is interesting. So legendary landwalk is just, it's unblockable if your opponent has a legendary land. Now, luckily they gave me a bit of an explanation here. So this is bracket 1, which I will get more into what that even means in a second. It does run 1 game changer, which is crop rotation, which I don't really think should be a game changer, so that's fair. The goal of the deck is to kill the opponents with commander damage via legendary landwalk. This deck runs no forms of invasion, no trample, no menace, nothing. The only way to connect with your commander is if they control a legendary land, which you can go one of 3 ways to gift to your opponent. So, Song of the Dryads to enchant a legendary permanent. So you can turn their commander into a legendary forest, which then allows your commander to swing in. Then it has Gauntlets of Chaos. Exchange control of target artifact creature or land you control for target permanent of the same type an opponent controls. So you can give them a legendary land, which costs you 10 mana to do, by the way, because it's 5 to play, 5 to activate. And then Verdant Mastery plus Root Path Purifier. I don't know what Verdant Mastery is. Verdant Mastery. You may pay 4 rather than its mana cost. Search your library for up to 4 basic lands, reveal them, put one onto the battlefield tapped under an opponent's control. If this cost was paid, you put 2 of them onto the battlefield tapped under your control, the rest in your hand, then shuffle. Oh, and then Root Path Purifier is the creature that turns all your non-basics into basics. So with Root Path Purifier and Verdant Mastery, you can then get Hall of the Bandit Lord and give it to your opponent. Got it. The issue they're having is that they get attacked too easily. Like, the stack takes setup, and they get attacked too often. Interesting. Oh, you're in the chat. Yo, what's up? Wish you could be here for your deck, but you're at work and can't hear. Okay, well, you know, if you see this VOD and you have any questions, you can just DM me. Okay, this is really funny. Oh yeah, Bloodfields. It's the podcast where we like talk about where we have like where we let a wheel decide our deck. We spun like 4 wheels to decide what our deck was going to be. Yeah, what up, Gecko? All right, this deck is very funny. I really like this deck. So the problem is you're getting attacked too much. Well, this, you know, I have a few ideas for that. There are some really jank, I'll say, sort of pillow 40 cards we can go with that can help out. Yeah, there should be a VOD on the Twitch and on my YouTube afterwards, so you can just, you know, boot up the VOD and then you can see your deck. I want to suggest Elephant Grass. Oh no, you already have Elephant Grass. Oh, okay. I want to suggest Helm of Possession. I need to move this to the sideboard. Have you had a chance to play with your Karn deck yet? I've used it a couple times. It's been fun. Mostly win by getting everyone to kill each other. The last remaining play. No, actually. I never ended up building the deck, ultimately. I just kind of brewed it up. I'm glad you've tried it out, and I'm glad it's working, because I think that deck is really funny. I'm glad. Is the politics actually working? Yeah, what up, Vendy? Of course, hashtag Cowabunga. Okay, all right. Helm of Possession is like one of my favorite sort of pillow 40 cards. You kind of need to pair it with something. So I need to think about what we can add with it. But this card is quite good. It's 4 mana for an artifact. You pay 2, tap, sacrifice a creature, and then you steal a creature as long as it's tapped, and you can keep it tapped as long as you want. Now, one thing, let me take a quick peek at your mana base here. You have Colony Gardens. I wonder if there's something we can fit in here that would make a token every turn, so you could sack it to Helm of Possession. We're gonna have to keep thinking. You can't play Ensnaring Bridge because your commander has 7 powers. That's pretty bad. Hello. Am I in Pure Legends? What do you mean by that? Blessed Respite? Blessed Respite's a fog, right? I mean, this card is good because it's like Graveyard Hate and a fog. I'm trying to think of more like repeatable ways to get around to get around blockers. I mean, maybe like maybe just a Silent Arbiter, honestly. I mean, Silent Arbiter is just a classic, right? No more than one creature can attack each combat. You don't care about that. And then no more than one creature can block each combat. You know, you can only get attacked by one dude. There's also crawl space. I do like crawl space. Oh wait, one of my favorites. Force field. Obviously, you probably just want to proxy this. It's like reserve list. But Force Field's one of my favorite cards. I'll pull up the Oracle text in just a second. Well, maybe Ronas is a good idea. What's it called? Force Field. So Force Field is interesting. You pay 1 generic. The next time an unblocked creature of your choice would deal combat damage to you this turn, prevent all but 1 of that damage. So as long as you hold up 1 mana, people don't really want to attack you because you'll just reduce the damage to 1. Oh, Fountain Port makes a fish. Yes. That's a good idea. Also, I kind of like the idea of a Ronas here. Your commander immediately turns Ronas on, and then it is a 5/5 Death Touch indestructible blocker. It does break your rule because it can give trample to your commander, so you know you can decide whether or not that's allowed. But it is a really good blocker. And it is a funny snake guy. Force Field's a really funny card. And you know what's the crazy thing about it is if you read the Oracle text, you will notice it just says the next time. It does not say target. So this is like the ultimate the ultimate anti-Voltron card, because it gets past Hexproof, it gets past Shroud, it gets past protection from artifacts. It really doesn't matter. Force Field always works. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's a cool card. The collector's edition has gone up in price. I bought mine like a long time ago. So sadly, that's not even budget anymore. And yeah, it's reserve list, but just proxy it. To be honest, most people don't know what this card does. So, like, when I play it, it's not like people go, "Whoa, you have a Force Field? That's so crazy," or whatever. Like they just go like, "That's a weird card." So if you like proxy it, I don't think anyone's gonna gonna care. It looks messed up with 1 mana Tameo. Yeah, it's probably good with 1 mana Tameo, right? Is it -0/-1? Well, no, because it just reduces the damage to 1. So it doesn't actually, that's not gonna make it go to 0. But if you have if you have Orbs of Warding, then it actually completely blocks, right? If a creature would deal damage to you, prevent 1 of that damage, it reduces the damage to 1, so you only take 1 damage. Orbs of Warding is kind of funny. Alright, I want to do this. Elephant Grass. Let's put Elephant Grass into EDH rack and see if we can find other green Pillar Fort effects. Actually, I might just recommend this guy. Oh, he's already in here. Perfect. I'm not seeing anything else that would be useful. See, can't run Norn's Annex. No other real Pillar Fort effects that would work. Sorry, what am I considering with what? What is this? To date? What? Oh. Oh, well, I mean, this is in my deck. So this is technically a bracket 1 flavor deck that I didn't make. I assume this is in here just because it's a legendary land that doesn't do anything useful, so you can give it to people with the Verdant Mastery Root Path Purifier combo. Speaking of which, just in case I missed anything, Gauntlets of Chaos. See if there's another card that does this effect that we're missing for green. Anything obvious? Um, no, I'm not seeing anything. Genocidal Juice Choker doesn't help. Okay, I just wanted to make sure we weren't missing anything that could gift a land to an opponent in green. But I don't think so. Did I see the Shire in this list? No, we're missing the Shire. Probably should add that. Nope. Okay, cool. What about Assault Suit? Turns your own legendary into a land and then give it to somebody? I don't think you can equip a Assault Suit to a land. Like unless it's like a Shia? No, because if you play a Shia and then you play Assault Suit, it's not going to be a legendary land on your opponent's turn. But let's think about this. This is another Gauntlets of Chaos target. Where you can gift it to someone and it gives them a legendary forest, effectively. Would Bossing Say work here? I don't know what for. Does it do anything for? Oh, I'm thinking of, sorry. I was thinking the walls of Bossing Say. Okay, Earthman 2 is... Alright, how else do we gift creatures, though? Like, I do like this idea. I do like the Bossing Say idea. Yo, what up, Ruby? I like this Bossing Say idea to animate a legendary land. But how are we gifting a creature to our opponents in green is the problem. Other than Gauntlets of Chaos, I suppose. I know lots of ways to do it in red. What if I just do like exchange control? I gotta do anything? Wait. Avarice Totem? Hold up. Exchange control of this artifact and target non-land permanent. Bloodthirsty Blade doesn't actually change control. It just equips to your opponent's creatures. Yeah, what up, Guru? No, Assault Suit doesn't work because... Let me reread Assault Suit before I say it doesn't work. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't work. Because how are we going to get it... At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have that player gain control of it. You may have that player gain control of it if you don't have... Oh, wait. Wait, you're right. It's not mandatory. So Assault Suit is, I can choose to give it to that player, and I just never choose to give it to the next person. But then the problem is they just have to attack with their 2/2. You know what I'm saying? Like, so let's think about let's plays. Okay, I bossing say to Earthbend Hall of the Bandit Lord, make it a 2/2. I equip it with Assault Suit. I pass turn to my opponent. It goes to them. They now control the Hall of the Bandit Lord. For somehow it doesn't die. And then I choose not to pass it to the next player. The next player, it comes back to me. I can play Iumei the Last Visitor and attack. But all they have to do is kill a 4/4, right? There is a hunted horror in green, but it's not going to gift a legendary land to our opponent. No, I get that. Yeah, they gain control of it, but they're just going to attack with it and it's going to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it doesn't, in practice, it doesn't work as often. Because let's say I give them the land, it dies. Okay, cool. It goes back to my side, and then next turn I have to re-earthbend it, re-equip it, re-pass it to my opponents. I guess they might not want to block a 4/4. I don't know. I guess you could give it indestructible, sure. All right, let's think about it. Now Avarice Totem. Avarice Totem is interesting because you can it is possible to activate the ability in response to itself to generate odd combinations. For example, if you control this card and another permanent, you can use this card's ability to target the permanent you control, then use this card's ability again to target a permanent your opponent controls. The second usage resolves first, giving your opponent's permanent in exchange for the Avarice Totem, and then you swap the Avarice Totem with the original thing that you targeted. So Avarice Totem actually works, I think, a lot better. It's only than the Gauntlets. It's 1 mana. You pay 5, target your legendary land. Pay 5 more in response to that, target your opponent's creature, right? You swap their creature with Avarice Totem, and then Avarice Totem will swap with your land. And then you have Avarice Totem and their creature, and they have your legendary land. So I actually think this is like probably the best upgrade for the deck. Of course, if they're holding up 5 mana, they can, in response, activate Avarice Totem, but that's a lot of mana. How do these deck reviews work now? I was a little confused since I changed it. Is it just based off... Yeah, it's just based off my interest. I'm not allowed to make it random anymore. I can't do the lottery system. That's against Patron's rules. Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know, I pick them. Assault Suit says until end of turn. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have that player gain control of an equipped creature until end of turn. Yeah, oh yeah, it's until end of turn, so it even doesn't work, right? Yeah, oh, sorry, yes. Avarice Totem says... Sorry, my bad. Avarice Totem does say non-land. Non-land. Yeah. I was getting ahead of myself. That's what Ashaya is for. Ashaya is a legendary forest. If we can find more things like that... then it works, right? And we're already playing like Root Path plus Verdant Mastery combo, which is pretty jank. And if you have enough mana, you can just get the Ashaya back. You have 20 mana. It also, yes, Avarice Totem can be found with Urza's. So here's the benefit of Avarice Totem is if you're in a jank deck like this where you just have like nothing going on sometimes, you can just use it. You can pay 10 mana to steal anything. Right? As long as you have like a random dinky creature you don't care about. Right? You can give them your Timeless Witness and steal their commander. It's just like you can actually just use the card. Is that crazy? Is that too jank? Oh, because it's still land. Oh, man, you're right. Doesn't work with a Shia. Hmm. 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 Is there another way to turn a creature into a land? Where's the wording on Song of the Dryads? Is a colorless forest land? This might not work as well as I thought. Damn, I really thought I was cooking there for a second. Awaken? Yeah, but then my opponent needs to have a legendary land, a legendary creature. I don't know. Earthbending and Awaken cards can animate lands. Yeah, but there's something that is there something that does something else that does the opposite. Song turns a creature into a land other than Song. So anything else that turns things into lands? Song is pretty unique, isn't it? Dang, yeah, I don't think so. I can't think of anything. Alright. Let's go back to the list here. Alright. Avarice Totem doesn't work the way I wish it would. Ashaya, I honestly might just go in the list because it is still another thing you can swap with Gauntlets of Chaos to trigger your commander, and it's also just a good card. I like the Bossing Say just suggestion in general. It's kind of like a decent card. The Shire, I think you do want. It's just another legendary land, so it works with all your stuff. 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, primetime hours, yeah. Well, it's 10 for me. You could copy Song, like the copy enchantments. I don't think there's any of those in green. I guess we don't need the Urza Saga for anything in this list particularly. In terms of your initial problem where you're like, oh, I'm getting attacked a lot, I think Crawl Space, Force Field, and Silent Arbiter are probably some of the best suggestions for that. They're really good at just like pillow forting up. I do like Helm of Possession plus Fountain Port or like Mirix or something. Any other lands that can make a token every turn, you could use with Helm of Possession. Because Helm of Possession lets you do it instant speed. So as long as you're holding mana up, people don't really want to attack you because you just go, all right, make a 1/1 fish, sack it to Helm, steal someone else's big creature, block your thing attacking me, kill it. It's quite good. And then, yeah, I guess you could add more fogs. Blessed Respite's like pretty good. I don't know if you really need more, but I think those are overall my changes. I really wanted to find another thing to help you exchange cards more, but alas, I couldn't. It's great in grinding games. Yeah, I love Helm of Possession in grinding games. It's really good. What was I looking for? I was just looking for something that turns a creature into a land, other than Song of the Dryads. But I don't really think there's anything else like that. In terms of cuts, I should probably suggest a few. I mean, of course, you can go down on like a couple of forests if you're gonna add like the Shire or Bossing Say or something. I feel like this gets cut. I don't know what the Viridian Claws are for. Because if your goal is to give your commander indestructible, unblockable, First Strike isn't super relevant. And then on top of that, it doesn't actually change the breakpoint. You still kill in 3 hits. So I think that definitely goes. That gives hexproof. When a creature would deal common damage to a player, deals double that instead. If another creature would deal damage to equipped creature, deals. Okay. This gives double strike, which is quite good. Equipped creature can't be the target of spells or abilities. Prevent all combination to be dealt to, sure. Alright, those are all good. These are all basically regrowths. I feel like this is kind of slow. This vessel. I don't know. Not a big fan of this effect. It only mills 4, and you only get a card from among the 4. It's an okay cantrip, I guess. I actually think what might be a better cantrip than this is just oh, not Sylvan Scrying. What's the one green one that was oh, they already have Sylvan Scrying in here, I think. Yeah, here's Sylvan Scrying. I'm thinking of the one that's 1 green. Oh man, I used to play this all the time in Tron. Ancient Stirring. There we go. I think people forget this is like the best cantrip, basically ever. Look at the top 5. You reveal a colorless card from among them. Put it in your hand, which is really great because it gets you any land from the top 5. It gets you any artifact from the top 5, and a lot of these artifacts are really important, and all these lands are really important for you. It's a really good cantrip. Yes, Starks. Thank you. There's a bit of a stream delay, so I found it before you answered, but thank you. Midnight Tilling. It's 2 mana. I feel like on turn 2 we want to be casting something more relevant, maybe? Got a lot of these cantrip-y things. Gift of Viper, I think, is kind of in this list. Because it just gives reach and death touch, but I feel like you're not blocking that much. Or you don't really want to be blocking and trading with your commander, you know? Knowledge Pool? Knowledge Pool is funny, but they could just choose not to play the legendary lands, you know? Alright, those are my main cuts, plus a couple of forests, and then some combination of these, I think, would be good. I'm gonna move on to some other decks, but I really enjoyed this list. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. Alright. Let's do another deck. Let's do. Oh, I have to take a look at this. It's an Elsha Wild Research deck. That's really sweet. All right. Text import, boom. All right. Then we'll make Elsha the commander. All right, this user said, looking for some fun inclusions for a Bracket 3 Wild Research deck. The final version had too much Q stuff in it. Once you tuned it, it ended up being pretty generic. Looking for a fun, happy middle. The main way you lose is not having enough control elements in the early game. Got it. Trinket, are you going to look at the deck I sent before on this stream? Forgot to put it in the deck doctor after we talked. Oh, can you put it in the thread now? Because I have no idea where where you linked it. That's when you hit them with Dominion Bracelet. Huh. Okay, so if you don't know Wild Research, this is like one of my favorite cards of all time. It's like a 3-mana red enchantment. You pay white and 1, search for an enchantment, put it in your hand, and then discard a card at random. Or you can search for an instant, put in your hand, discard a card at random. So it's like a tutor engine, kinda, asterisk, because you can always discard the card you hit. Now you are nice. Okay, so you're playing a Library of Lang, which makes it so whenever you discard a card, you can put it on top. And then Elsha the Infinite lets you cast non-creature spells from the top of your library. So with Elsha and Library of Lang and Wild Research, you can functionally instant speed, because it gives them all flash, tutor up and cast any instant or enchantment you want whenever you want. So let's say your opponent goes to cast a game-winning threat. You can go, okay, in response, activate Wild Research, tutor up an offer you can't refuse, and then even if you discard it, it goes to the top of your deck, Elsha lets you cast it, and you just offer you can't refuse, counter the spell. Yeah, what up, Helium? Hidden Piece. Hidden Piece. Hidden Piece? I don't... Is this a real card? Oh, yo. What up, Justin? It's your deck. Okay. So I love it. I love it already. But you want some more spice, is what I'm understanding, right? Like you think it's too generic as control, right? Yeah, I'm reviewing viewer decks. Yeah. Well, not random viewers. This is for my patrons. If you're a level 2 or 3 patron, you can submit decks. Yeah. Oh, Hidden Retreat. Ah. Choose a card in your hand, put it on top of your library, prevent all damage from an instant or sorcery. This is funny, but I don't think it's... I think there's not enough instant searches that do damage. This is a really funny card, though. What a weird card. How do you make a submission? If you're in the Discord, there's like a thread every month. And then you just throw your deck in there and you explain, like, I'm having X problem with Y deck. And then I just kind of pick them, as I feel like it. You optimize the fun out of it. Okay. So here's the thing: is we have our engine for this deck, right? We have our mid-game goal, right? In the mid-game, you want to find Wild Research, Library of Lang, cast your commander. You know, an easy 1-2-3. That's your goal mid game. But how are we winning from here, right? And I think this is where the fun kind of needs to come in. You know what, Topher? I was thinking of that, but there's no way to tempt your opponent's creatures with the ring. So what we have is our mid game plan here, right? Like the doing the thing of the deck that is not the same as winning, which I think is really great. But we need to figure out how to actually win with it. And I'm guessing that you're not jazzed about Luminarch Ascension as your win con. Otherwise, you wouldn't be submitting the list. And I'm with you on that. So what we want to do is find a fun, exciting win con. Because right now, how does this deck even win? I see Luminarch Ascension, I guess Extravagant Replication, copying Court of Ire. Is that our win? Courts with extra upkeeps or Enduring Ideal. Yeah, okay. Okay, well let's cut those for now. Let's maybe take this court pile and axe it real quick. And let's pick a different win con, because I think that will up the fun. Yeah, I think maybe that will be what we do here. I'm gonna cut Enduring Ideal as well. What about the card that takes people's creatures when they attack you? What card is that? Let's think about some enchantment win cons that are maybe kind of exciting. I really like Mind's Dilation for control decks because it's kind of random, right? Like things just kind of happen, and you're just like stealing things from your opponent's deck, so it keeps the variance up. So I like doing this with control decks that have engines that are really cool, like Wild Research. So while the Wild Research engine is going on and you're controlling, Mind's Dilation is giving you a bunch of random stuff to try and win the game with. So it kind of feels different every time because you're still doing the Wild Research control plan, but your win con is like very variable, right? But what are other good enchantments like this? I mean, so that there is, you know, you can Shark Typhoon if you wanted, and then Extravagant Replication is kind of a fun way of doing that as well. If you Extravagant Replication, Mind's Dilation, or Shark Typhoon, that could be kind of silly. Trying to think of other good enchantments that are, you know, kind of do like funky things. Let's just look at some high cost ones. All right, let's just look at like an enchantment that's like mana value greater than or equal to, let's say 6, and we're in Jeskai. Okay, there's not that many that actually. Anything here that would be kind of fun. Sunbird's Invocation doesn't really work with this. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may flip a coin until you lose a flip. For each flip you won, and create a token that's a copy of it. That is funny. Legion loyalty. Myth realized. Myth realized. Oh. Myth realized is kind of funny. I don't know if it's big enough to be like a proper win con in EDH. It is funny though. Legion loyalty. Creatures you can draw mirror. We don't have any creatures in this deck. I do like the card though. I guess it's Muster the Legion. Is that what it's called? Oh, Assemble the Legion. Oops. But that's not that exciting. You also thought of theft enchantments that were pretty nice with the copy stuff. Yeah, you can play stuff like I think it's just called Treachery. Treachery is pretty sweet. 5 mana, you steal a creature, and then it untaps 5 lands, which is pretty cool. Dismissive of Dreams is really funny if you can target stuff. You could do Decree of Silence and Solemnity as like a hard lock if you want to switch to combo. Although I don't know if it sounds like that's how you'd want to play, but you could. Decree of Silence is whenever an opponent casts a spell, you put a depletion counter on it and it gets countered, and then if there's 3 more depletion counters, you sacrifice this. And then Solemnity says you can't place counters on things, so it just, if you have both those in play, it counters everything your opponent's cast. You could play Eye of the Storm and just believe. That is maybe a little too chaotic. You could play Dovescape Portcullis Lock. So Portcullis in combination with Dovescape is kind of funny. Because non-creature spells get countered, turn into doves, and then the doves get exiled under the Portcullis as long as there's 2 or more creatures. Usually use something like a Cyclonic Rift to like set this up. Or I guess you get Evacuation, and then you play your commander and another creature, and then you play these. Another kind of like jank thing you could do. Shuffling? Okay. We do a version of Phyrexian Unlife 9 lives. Oh yeah, Phyrexian Unlife plus 9 lives is pretty funny. I think we're past all the playable enchantments. I guess there's Spirit Away here or whatever. You could go the theft route. We could play Control Magic. Stuff like that. Alright, but that's enchantments, right? Like we've looked at the enchantment side. What about instants? Right, there's lots of, you can play Dominate, I think is what it is. Dominate is an instant that steals a creature. There's lots of stuff like that. We could also switch this to add a sub theme. Just Dovescape by itself is pretty good. You won't need the combo lock. I mean, so like you can just play Dovescape and then just try and cast more non-creature spells than your opponents, or because you can't actually tutor Portcullis with the engine. What is that blue enchantment? Oh, damn. Blue. Oh, man. What is it? Gravitational shift. Yes. Oh, no. That doesn't work the way I thought it did. Oh, man. What's the... Okay, here we go. How about this? You play Dovescape, mention the Mind Cage. So all your opponent's creatures will get -X -O X the number of cards in your hand, which as long as you have one card in your hand, since all your opponent's creatures will basically just be doves, then you go, you have all, doves that can attack, and your opponent's doves can't do anything. And what are they going to do? Cast a non-creature spell to remove the Mind Cage? Doesn't do anything. It's counter-turned into doves. It does get stopped by, like, a Reclamation Sage or something, but this is a funny pseudo-lock. How do you get a deck reviewed? Click the link in the description to join the Patreon. If you're a level tier 2 or 3 patron, you can then... I'll mention it's all creatures. Dude, I got ahead of myself. I need hang on. Let's see if I can find something better. Opponents creatures get. I lost my train of thought. If you join the Patreon, you can you can submit a deck list. Probably want to run some uncounter spells if Dovescape is the main plan. True, you run uncounterable counter spells, so you can actually counter the Reclamation Sage. Oh wait, there's a Flip J. No, Flip J's only gives it. Yeah, could just get any Anthem as well. Yeah, you could get an Anthem, but I want it to be minus, so you can swing all out at somebody and not, because otherwise other people just attack you with their birds. Well, you're gonna need it's called Surge something. No, it has Surge and it's blue. Overwhelming Denial. Overwhelming Denial is a uncounterable counterspell. There's also like Final Say. Oh no, maybe it's Last Word. Last Word is also uncounterable counterspell. Can you find enchantment creatures? You can find enchantment creatures, but if you discard them to the random effect, then Elsha can't cast it off the top. Counterflux can't be countered either, correct? Yeah. Yeah, Counterflux also would work. Counterflux. Honestly, just talking about this, I want to build this deck now. I really want to play a Wild Research Dovescape lock with with some other enchantment. This is really funny. -1, -O. What happens if I just type this? Glenna Lender's answer? Yeah, that works too. When you say dampening pulse, hang on. Let me check this first real quick. This isn't specific enough. This isn't going to help me, is it? No, it's not. Dampening. Boom. There it is. Wait. Oh my god, dampening pulse. Okay. Okay, dampening pulse, Dovescape. Is that funny? I mean, I guess it's like a hard lock. I don't know. This deck has been one of your favorites to build. It's legit, thanks to you. Honestly, your list is inspiring me to rebuild a Wild Research deck because I want to play Dovescape Dampening Pulse. This is so stupid. It's so funny. Is that one of the ideas you suggested? No, I think I just missed it. What was the last thing you suggested? I missed it. Can we do any buyback loops with instants that don't win when they happen? Please like capsize. I do like capsize in control decks. I do want to say, if you're a deck that likes to hold up mana, capsize is a banger. And actually, Alec, man, this kind of combines with Paul's idea, is things like Aria of Flame work really well with buyback spells, obviously, right? Because you can just keep casting them. And this is another alternative suggestion. So here's what we can do is Jace's... Oh, is Jace's something? Sanctum? Yes. Okay, so one thing that's another... Here's another route. All right, here's another possible win con route. Is you can grab enchantments like Jace's Sanctum. So what we can do is, let's say, Instant Sorceries cast... Instants and Sorceries, you cast cost. Go here. Boom. Red. Let's do enchantment. Let's find other enchantments that have this effect. Font of Magic. Case of the Ransacked Lab. And then what we do is we go get a buyback card that is an instant in these colors. There's a specific one I'm looking for. Forbid is really good, but that's not the one that we need for this. I think the best one here is Whims of Volrath. Okay, so here's another suggestion. Here's an alternative win con. With your Wild Research plan, you grab Aria of Flame, and you grab 2 of the enchantments. Oh, I'm losing my voice here. You grab 2 of the enchantments that reduce instants and sorceries by 1. And then you add Whims of Volrath, which has a buyback of 2. Which I believe, Whims of Volrath, you can target anything, right? Can't target a card with no appropriate words on it, or even one with no words at all. So you just cast Whims of Volrath. The buyback is free. It triggers Aria of Flame. Aria of Flame then, deals damage to target, player. And then, since the buyback is free because you reduce the cost twice, it just goes back to your hand. So you've built now a super blue fireball where every blue mana you have is just an increasing amount of damage. And then you just go boom, 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 and you can just zap through everybody. Which is pretty fun, right? I think that's another way we can go. I think that's another win con. Was it chakra meditation? Would you say chakra? This? When an instant target instant sorcery from your graveyard to your hand, whenever you cast an instant sorcery, draw a card, then discard a card unless there are 3 more lists. Actually, chakra meditation is like a decent mid-game card in this list. Yeah. I really like that it's a enchantment as well. Okay, all right. I'm glad you like these ideas. So we have a couple suggestions. We got theft. We got Arya Flame Burn with like buyback. And then we have Dovescape shenanigans. I'm gonna leave you with those ideas. You know, you can cut the quartz and, you know, squeeze in whatever combo you think is kind of fun and, you know, give that a try. Otherwise, honestly, like, I mean, looking at the list, you kind of got all the pieces you need. Like this, you know, this is what a list like this should look like. The only thing I would say is add some of the uncounterable counter spells if you're going to go the Dovescape plan, because you definitely want to be able to you want to be able to protect it from like a reclamation sage if you want. And the fact that Wild Research is an activated ability means you can still do the Wild Research engine to get your uncounterable counterspell even with the Dovescape plan in play, which is funny. All right. This was a really cool deck. I want to build it, but we'll see if I build it. I just built some new decks, so we'll see. Let's move on to another list. Who was I was just talking to someone who was going to throw their list in here. Oh man, there's so many more lists I want to get to, but I don't know how much time I have. All right, I gotta. I spent too long on those first couple lists. They were cool decks though. Let's take a look at this artifact list because I'm a sucker for artifact decks. Alright, you want an artifact sub-theme. You couldn't replace Akiri for Kedis because you thought losing white would be somewhat detrimental. Right. Main problem is finding the right path for optimization. You actually built a deck that supports a combo plan rather than supports extra combat damage to win. It's also notable that you only play Commander with your friends who primarily win via combo damage. Okay. Feels like the removal suite also supports protection from combo wins rather than combo damage. Okay. Interesting. So this is interesting. So their problem is they're like, oh, my deck's kind of winning with combos. I'm not actually winning with my intended game plan. Let me tell you, friend. Easy solution for that. Get rid of the combo pieces. I'm willing to bet, without Underworld Breach in the deck, your list can't really combo off that hard. Try to see what other... I mean, you could probably do shenanigans with Tezzeret. You didn't actually tell me what the combos were. So I'm kind of slight guesstimating based on what I'm looking at here. Look at this. If you don't want to win with a combo consistently, we're going to cut the tutors and the combo pieces. And then you said you want to win with extra combat steps. But I don't see that anywhere. Where's our extra combat steps? I see none. Oh, is this yours? Thank you. There are no combos. Oh. Am I misunderstanding what you wrote here? You accidentally built a deck that supports a combo plan rather than supports combat damage win. Oh, you didn't mean that you literally have combos in the deck. Okay, that's why I was confused. I was like, I don't see a breach combo, but I'm going to assume that's part of it. These combos in the deck... that is true. I suppose I... yeah, I always forget Architect has that feature. What a neat feature. It's one of the reasons I like Architect. Not sponsored, by the way. Interesting that you're running Mystic Remora. We can put this back in for you know what sucks about Architect is it doesn't let me. It never lets me drag and drop, no matter what I do. It just doesn't care. Put it back in the deck. Oh, I can use A to automatically do that. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, you said your playgroup mostly wins with combat damage, which makes me think it's creature focus, which makes me sus of Mystic Remora. I don't even know what this Drift of Phantasms is supposed to get you. Like, Nettlecyst is good, I guess. Actually, I might leave this as a cut suggestion. No way forward. What? The next time shows damage. Prevent that damage. If damage prevents this way, you draw that many cards. This is a funny Magic the Gathering card. But also, it is 5 mana, and what is our curve? We're like a low-to-the-ground aggressive deck? I don't know if I'm too jazzed about No Way Forward. Definitely not interested in Faithless Looting in a deck like this. Death Lance. What is the blue-white Thoughtcast? 100% we can fit in more combat tricks. Yeah, Voyage Home. So I love Voyage Home in decks like this. I mean, it's basically a second Thoughtcast. It's 3 cards for 2 mana. It's really efficient. Yeah, if you want to run extra combat steps, like, shouldn't we be running like Full Throttle, and like Seize the Day? Seize the Day is pretty sweet. It only untaps like 1 creature, and then you get an additional combat phase. But because Akiri has Vigilance, you can attack with Malcolm, which taps him, and then attack with Akiri as well. Seize the Day, untap Malcolm, and you get to attack with both your commanders again, which is pretty sweet. And of course, Seize the Day also has flashback, so you just do it twice. It's just a good Magic card. Additionally, we are in blue, so you can play the blue extra combat effects, which we do have. There is a couple of interesting ones. You can play Seize the Moment. Savor the Moment? Is it Savor the Moment? Maybe it's Savor the Moment. Savor the Moment. It's 3 mana, take an extra turn after this one, but you skip the untap step on that one, right? Although, really sweet with Akiri, because Akiri has Vigilance. So, It's basically a 3-mana extra combat step that draws you a card in this deck. You go swing with Akiri, savor the moment, draw a card, swing with Akiri again, which is kind of sweet. I think that's actually like, this is one of the few decks where Savor the Moment might actually be like a reasonable card to play. It is kind of niche. Of course, you can also just play extra turn effects, because again, we're in blue. Like, Time Warp is a super extra combat step, right? Like, Seize the Day is 4 mana for this. For 1 more mana, we get a whole untap, upkeep, draw, you know? This is a one way to... People always think of this as like a combo card if you like chain extra turn effects, but it is just like a aggressive card if you want to attack twice. Tempest Hawk? It's Tempest Hawk. Tempest Hawk. Oh, that's funny. Forge of Frontier, Nettlecist. I also I feel like maybe we want more ways for Akira to get in, because Akira is only 2 mana. It's really cheap to just get into play and swing with. Maybe Key to the City. I want to think of a better option though. What does Frostcliff do again? Whenever one of our creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's pretty good. Creature go +1/+0 trample and haste. That is very good with Akiri. All that glitters. Ooh, do we play the oh, what's their name? Does Lita work in this list? How many artifact creatures do you have? Not really any, right? This is more of a pirate deck than artifact deck. Okay, never mind. Daily Bugle? Daily Bugle was a podcast. Oh, Daily Bugle building? Target legendary creature control gains menace until end of turn. Oh, wait. Yo, facts. That's really good. Giving Malcolm Menace means you're probably going to get in, and then giving Akiri Menace is also pretty sweet. Oh, I do like that. Let's see what else. What are we Enlightened Tutoring for? Do we just get Mystic Study every time? Probably. Is this a fighter class deck? Fighter class lets you tutor and equipment, which is pretty good. I think getting Nettlecist or Mithril Coat is often very good in this list. What do the other modes do? Equips cost 2 less. Whenever a creature you control attacks up to 1 target creature blocks it this combat if able. I guess that's not super useful for this because you actually want to get in. You don't want to. I mean, well, Akiri has first strike, so maybe fighter class is worth. Oh, that makes sense. Square. That's pretty fun. Are you gonna run like, I guess, 30-ish hawks, or how many can you fit? What else would I recommend changing? I feel like maybe we want more ways to give trample. Because Akiri has first strike and vigilance. So you're always attacking, you're always blocking really well. But trample is kind of the big one, right? Cool. Trample. Equipment. We are in Jeskai colors. I guess it doesn't have to be an equipment. I guess Corey's Steel Cutter is really good because it gives haste and trap. Man, this card's broken. Can't believe they made that. Oh man, Leyline Axe is pretty good. The more I see this card, the more it's actually just like... Shadow Spear is also super busted. And the thing about Shadow Spear is if you run Urza's Saga, you then get the Shadow Spear. You had Drift because it tutors 2 equipments that give trample, but it can also get Ristic. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels really slow, right? The thing about Drift of Phantasms, unlike something like, because here's the thing, right? Is when you compare Drift to, obviously it's not a fair comparison. Enlightened Tutor is much more powerful, but you know when you compare it to Enlightened Tutor is like a on end step, put the Ristic Study on top, untap, draw the Ristic Study. Whereas, like, I don't know, Drift just feels so slow compared to that. And looking at your list, I feel like your playgroup is probably playing at a slightly higher power level. I feel like Drift is just going to be too slow, no? Maybe you don't need Key to the City if you're giving Enchantment, Trample. It's probably just better. Oops. There we go. Get right here. Your removal package is good. I actually maybe a little iffy on Mystical Tutor in this list. Here's the thing about Mystical Tutor is it's card disadvantage. It doesn't put the card in your hand, right? So unlike a Demonic Tutor where you can go, all right, Demonic Tutor for an offer you can't refuse, and now I'm protected for my next turn. If you draw the Mystical Tutor, you can't quite do that. And in a list like this where you're not looking for any specific instant or sorcery, other than you're like, I guess I'll want a Vandal Blast, so maybe I'll get this. I'm pretty iffy on that, and I would prefer just more card draw, like raw card advantage. Oh, non-basic Landwalk Boots. Yeah, what are they called again? Trailblazers Boots? I misspelled that there, but... Trailblazers Boots. Yeah, Trailblazers Boots is a neat card. It gives the equipped creature non-basic Landwalk. So as long as anybody has a non-basic, you can attack them for free, which is pretty crazy. You're trying to get Kedis to smack the weakest player to hit all the other players. Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. I get that game plan. But Mystical Tutor doesn't help you achieve that, This is where something like I feel like Muddle in the Mixture might even just be a better option. Muddle in the Mixture has the utility of being a counterspell, but it also can grab Kedis if you want. So you can do it in the same turn. So you untap with a Kiri and a trample effect, and there's someone who's kind of open, you go Muddle, cast Kedis in the same turn instantly and just blow them up. But also you're running Cyclonic Rift, and Muddle in the Mixture to grab Cyclonic Rift to get rid of whatever you need is also like a really relevant part of your game plan. Or Muddle to get Boros Charm. It's just so good, and it grabs Breach. I think Muddle is just a better card on this list. Pip-Boy 3000. I forget what it does. I remember Travis played this in his Alexios deck in a CDH tournament, and I just remember seeing him play this, and all the CDH players obviously had never seen Pip-Boy 3000. They were like, "What does this do?" When a creature attacks, choose one, draw a card, then discard a card. Okay, put a counter on that creature, untap 2 target lands. Wow, actually, that's really good because it's on attack. You don't have to connect. and it costs 2 to equip, so you can just have it refund its own equip cost instantly. Actually, this is a crazy strong card. What the hell? Wait, I'm goaded. Oh, for the Muddle mixture? Yeah, this card's crazy. It's so good. And you know, here's the other funny thing is if you add fighter class, Muddle in the mixture can grab fighter class, which can tutor any equipment in your deck. So, you know, it ultimately does that. It also grabs Corey Steelcutter, which is a broken card. All right, I want to maybe suggest a few more cuts. You have a lot of like good cards here. I'm worried about Inspiring Statuary. This card is concerning to me. So it gives you non-creature spells, non-artifact spells, improvise. So it lets you tap like your Nettle Cyst for a mana to pay for a generous gift. But on offer you can't refuse, Boros Charm, Counterspell, Dispatch, Enlightened Tutor, Flusterstorm, Galvanic Blast, Pact of Negation, Swan Song, Path to Exile, Esper Sentinel, Malcolm, your Akiri on the first cast, Storm Tamer, Spectral Sailor, all of those cards, which I just listed a decent amount, are unaffected by Inspiring Statuary, which is kind of lame. And it's like, is this better than just like having a land that you play and then have an extra mana here and there? Like, I don't know. I'm not convinced it's in the deck. All right, so those are my cuts. I'd probably axe those. And I really like, obviously, you know, Urza Saga is not a budget-friendly card, but Urza Saga plus Shadow Spear is probably one of the more powerful upgrades you can get. Urza Saga makes artifacts with its ability, which buffs up Akiri, obviously, and those artifacts will get big in this deck. And then the Shadow Spear, not only is it good on Akiri to give Trample and Lifelink, but you give it to those constructs, it's really powerful. Just a really strong thing. And then adding Pip-Boy in addition to that is actually kind of useful. It's another Urza Saga target, and it actually seems pretty strong. I think adding Muddle and Fighter Class and Core Steelcutter is probably pretty big. And maybe a full throttle at the top end would be good. Replace maybe, you know, 2 of your lands with like a Saga and a... I like the Daily Bugle building suggestion, actually. I think giving your Commander's Menace is like really relevant in this deck. Yeah, and then maybe kind of like a Faithless Looting for like a Voyage Home. I like more card advantage in lists like this. Sword of the Animus and Dowsing Dagger. Those are also pretty good. I don't know how much ramp you really need because the curve is kind of low in this deck. And it's kind of slow ramp. Like Dowsing Dagger is right, Dowsing Dagger is you pay 2 for it, then you pay 2 more for it, and then you also have to connect with it. You know, let's say it's in your opening hand, you cast Akiri, you cast this, you equip it to Akiri, and you hit somebody. That's like turn 4, you ramp up. But this deck's curve is like pretty slow. I don't know if it's really worth it. Oh, by Pillar 4, do you mean like protection spells? Because there's a, you say Kudo deck? The bear guy? This thing? Doesn't this buff Akiri? I mean, you have counter magic. You're in blue. You know, nothing a counter spell can't fix. I would just, you know, you have all of the cheap defensive counter spells. That should be what you need. I think you're fine. Oh, like propaganda? Do you need propaganda? I feel like your commander blocks pretty well, and you have a lot of like dinky chump blockers that you can just place. I feel like you should just be the aggressive one in this list. How hard is this deck supposed to be pushed? Bracket 3? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's technically 4 because it has more game changers. Although I feel like this feels more like a tuned bracket 3 list. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not like a brilliant answer on my part to just say, oh, the counter spells, but like, I mean, sometimes that's just the answer. You're in blue. You know, there's nothing a counter spell can't fix. There's no card draw in the command zone. Just kind of, I mean, you know, the thing is like the commanders here are like pretty high impact. We have ramp in the command zone and then like big damage. As long as you protect Akira, you just pressure life totals, you should be able to outpace them in damage is the idea. And then if you outpace them in damage, you should be able to just like take them out. And then you don't need 50 counter spells. You just need like 2 to protect your commander twice. I don't know if you need more creature focused removal. I think you just want to put more artifacts in play and like, you know, player removal is the best removal. If you're playing an aggressive deck, you know, adding fluff like protection and counter spells is important, but you can go too far and then you're just no longer an aggressive deck. I mean, there are other free spells. You could play the blue Flare of Denial. Because you do play a lot of like dinky small blue creatures. So this could be like a free counter spell, which is pretty neat. Not a terrible idea. Could be better than Whir, because Whir is triple blue, which is a little awkward, and then we have other ways to shoot up artifacts. I don't think you need more Path to Exile type effects. I think you're fine. Alright. I'm going to move on to another list, but I hope some of these suggestions helped out. Honestly, I think you should play Savor the Moment, just because this is one of the few decks that actually can make use of it, which is kind of cool. But I want to get to a few more decks, at least one more before I close off, because I don't know if I'm going to stream next week or not. All right, I see a Splinter deck, and I kind of want to look at it because it's a new commander. How is Breach? Breach is just value, which I think is fine. It's a deck with a lot of low mana value cards, so you just play Breach for value, which isn't terrible. I love my value Breach. You don't need to combo with it. The card's busted. Snorlo. Okay, cool. I don't know what this card does. What does Splinter do? If an ability of a ninja creature you control triggers an additional time. Okay. Target ninja can't be blocked this turn. Okay. So we're an Esper. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're playing Ninja's deck. What was your problem with this? Aiming for bracket 3. Got it. Oh, this is Cyclonic Rift. You want to get an invasive creature on turn 1 or 2, turn 3 Splinter, turn 4 Ninjutsu something. Right, got it. You feel like your engine running by turn 5 or 6, and when something like the Foot Clan Spawner and a cards that buff my whole board, you can see a win coming from just attacking. Okay. Oh. And with Yuriko, you can use your ability. Okay. So, but you feel like outside of Yuriko and... What the hell is this card? Foot Clan Spawner? Where? Am I missing something? Where? Foot. Oh, and a Foot Clan Spawner. Oh. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a ninja that's tapped attacking. Deals common damage to a player. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Return to okay. Cool. Okay, so you feel like you're not consistently enough getting those win cons. Okay, got it. Oh yes, Dark Secret. Agreed. You should be running every fetch land if you want to play Value Breach, because then you have more cards in your graveyard to like utilize for that. That is very true. Okay, so we're playing like, you know, our mid-range deck or whatever, and you find that it is not consistently enough finding the win cons. Now I am noticing that we are in black. So my question is, why don't we just tutor for the win cons that you want? Like like we can't just demonic tutor for anything, right? You can just grim tutor for anything. If you're like, I don't find the specific win cons I need often enough, you can just put a second copy in a deck with a tutor. We are playing black, right? So just boom, bing, bang, boom. There's the card you want. You know, or if it's or if it's an enchantment, you find a lightning tutor or whatever. That's one route, right? Of course. Or, and one thing that I'm surprised that isn't in here is like Biden of Thassa and coastal piracy effects. The Indomitable. If you're playing a bunch of evasive creatures that are hitting people for damage, you might as well draw cards off of them. By increasing the amount of card draw we have, you're going to find your win cons much faster. And things like the Indomitable, I think, are really powerful, actually. People just be jamming an offer you can't refuse in any deck with blue, thinking it's interaction. I mean, it is interaction. It's a pretty good card. You know, it's a one mana negate. Nah, because I think giving treasures is so different than. It's not like Arcane Denial that gives cards. Right, if they're hellbent and they're like, I need this card to get back in the game, and you offer it, then they lose. Whereas if you play like an Arcane Denial and they're like, I need this to get back in the game, they can draw back into the game with off of your own denial. I think giving treasures is like fine. I don't know. This is one that is like CDH playable and stuff. I think it's pretty good. At least I'm running my CDH deck and I see it all the time. It's quite strong. But yeah, I would say like the Indomitable, Coastal Piracy, Binding of Thassa, all these cards are like super good in any deck like this, and kind of like must-haves. Just like card draw, you know. I mean, you can win games off of the treasures, like it's possible. You know, but I feel like that situation is quite niche. All right, now what am I suggesting you cut? I don't want to cut many of the ninjas. Reconnaissance is good. Man, I feel like they're here for flavor reasons, but I feel like I want to suggest cutting Kaito. Oh, this is Dovin's veto. Maybe we can cut a few ninjas. Like one or two, you know? Like this one, you know, it's kind of okay, maybe. Don't like recommending cutting draw or ramp. Okay. Maybe we do this one. That's pretty good. Whenever one of our creatures you control leave the battlefield without dying, draw a card. Oh, interesting. Doomblades is pretty good. Look, it's Splinter. Damn, this is tough because, like, you know, there's only so many. There's only so many ninjas, you know, and you kind of want like a large portion of them. You run a Rog side. Yeah, I mean, it's just a good card. Smoke Shard, what is this? Enchantment plus on flying. Whenever ninja enters the battlefield, you may return Smoke Shard. Okay, that's cool. I think maybe you cut one of the Kaidos. I don't know. This one that doesn't have ninjutsu is like... I feel like it's... Planeswalkers just get killed so easily. I don't know. Is Yuriko in the 99? Yeah, I think Yuriko's in 99. Yeah. Yeah, Yuriko's in there. I don't know. Damn, this is tough. I want to say cut a Kaido. I mean, you know, keep it if you want, obviously. But I think adding coastal piracy effects is really gonna like up the power level of this deck by a lot. They just draw so many cards. You know, reconnaissance in the 99 with ninjutsu is like so spicy. It's so sweet. I mean, it just lets you like trigger like if you just have two creatures and they only have one blocker, you can attack with both. They'll block one. You reconnaissance it away. You can ninjutsu the other thing. It just lets you attack for free. Like on a base level, it's so good. I think those are my changes. It's pretty slim changes because 38 cards in the deck are like just ninjas, and you can't really cut that many of them. You kind of need these cards. But I would say, yeah, if your problem is not finding your cards consistently enough, just play tutors or more card draw. And honestly, you should just be playing coastal piracy effects. All right. So if I can do one more real quick. All right, let's do this one. I think this one shouldn't take too long because I've made a billion goat decks. All right, so this is a Nelly deck, classic, right? And you're running into the classic problem of what do you do when it becomes a 1v1, right? You're lacking interaction and draw, and having some non-games with it. I feel you. We're playing Boros, it'd be like that. Oh, I can drag cards if I view it in grid? Really? Oh, what if I zoom in for the stream? This grid view is kind of hard to see what the fuck's going on. That's good to know, though. Thank you. Can I keep the Saskia? Wait, I didn't see it. What's Saskia list? Did I miss that? Oh, right. Oh, I totally... Sorry. I forgot, because your username is different on YouTube. I completely forgot we were talking about that. Yeah, sure. I got a little bit of time today. Well, we'll do the Saskia list. Yeah, my bad. I forgot. Okay. So Now, one thing about I'll say one thing about these gold lists is when you get down to the 1v1, you really, really, really want that player to be very low on life by that time that happens. You want to be really careful who actually gets taken out first. And you want to spread damage as much as you can so people are all low at the same time. That's honestly, like, just playing that way is one of the best ways to win with gold decks. Is by the time you're in the 1v1, you should be at like 30 life and they should be at 5. And it doesn't really matter that your gold cards doesn't work because you just have to connect with like one thing. Right? So that's a that's one thing that I just want to like put out there. In terms of lacking card draw, like, man, I love playing the classics. Now I assume this is like a bracket 2 list, right? Yeah. Mind's Eye. This card used to be the bee's knees in Commander. Everyone was playing Mind's Eye. This was like I don't even know how expensive this card was at one point. MG stocks. This card used to be like this card used to be like, yeah, when Commander was getting popular, look at this, like 2018, everyone was on this. It was like a $10 card. Then it got reprinted and it went back up to like $10, and now it's like fallen off, right? It was like a $10 card, and everybody's forgotten about Mind's Eye, right? Everyone's like, oh, Mind's Eye, blah, blah, blah. This card is still good. In bracket 2, it is still insane. It draws like 1 billion cards, 1,000%. In your Boros deck, you should be playing Mind's Eye. This card is like ridiculously good. Do I think we should get more 4-color commanders? Yeah, I think so. More outside of the color combo that has like 1 billion. Like, what is it? Sans Black, right? Like this one got Aragorn and Omnath and the 14th Doctor. So they got like a bunch of these, and then if you look at this one, it's like, oh, there's one. And there's one. Boop, one. I think we should get more. 4-color command is cool. Now looking at this, we're just gonna want like more card draw, more ways to win in the 1v1, more ways to get pseudo card advantage. So one thing I really like is Besmirch. I don't know how to spell Besmirch. There it is. Besmirch. Let's do Helm of Possession again. More cards like this. So Besmirch is really fun. It lets you steal a creature until end of turn. It's a threaten effect, and then it goads the creature. So you get a threaten and a goad, which is pretty fun. Helm of the Possession is pretty cool as well. You can kind of sack like a random thing that you don't care about and just steal a creature forever. And if you do play more threaten effects, it gets better. That's obviously, if you're interested in adding more threaten effects, I would play Helm. Didn't know you were doing your... Oh yeah, I'm doing your deck, Ruby. I think I hate this card. I'm just gonna exit. I think he's really good in the command zone when you have a lot of ways to buff him, but without it, I feel like he's always underwhelming. You know what I'm saying? Seize the Spotlight. Seize the Spotlight is a super buster card as well. It's either a triple threaten or 3 mana draw 3, make 3 treasures. No, Form of the Dragon is... I appreciate the attempt, but that is not the correct one. Symmetry Matrix? I don't even know what that is. Symmetry Matrix. Whenever a creature with the power equal to its toughness enters the battlefield under your control. What a weird Magic the Gathering card. Does that work in this list? I mean, like, kinda. Wait, is this card good? What? Symmetry Matrix is so interesting. What a cool card. I'm gonna make a note of this card somewhere. I actually have to think about this card now. This is a really cool find. Wait, what the hell? I'm gonna show Symmetry Matrix to Tomer. I think he'll like that card because it's super budget. This is a cool card. Yeah, what up, Samuel? Yeah, Seize the Spotlight is this card needs a reprint. It is so good. It's insane how much value this card is. Okay, again, Boros. You know what else what else I really love? Bedlam. I can't spell. Bedlam is so cool. All right, so it's creatures cannot block. Incredibly powerful with Goad, because all the Goad stuff is just getting in, and then in the 1v1, when they're ideally low on life total, this lets you just swing out and just like kill them. No, that's a sick find, Paul. It's one of only two. What's the other card that cares about equal power and toughness? Another card, War Cadence. Okay, so War Cadence is a kind of a weird effect. It's a bit mana intensive. It's a little jank, I will admit, but it is interesting. And it's red and X. This turn, creatures can't block unless their controller pays X for each blocking creature he or she controls. So it's like a reverse propaganda, because you have to pay to block. But it works on any player, right? So if somebody's tapped out, if you have War Cadence to play, you just play red and 1, and suddenly they can't block. Just red and 1, and boom, that's it. They can't block anymore. It's kind of neat. It's a cool effect. I know, the only other reprint is yeah. There's Outlaws, there's New Competitive Commander, and then it got reprinted as whatever her name is. But it is a very good card. So I really like War Cadence and Bedlam for the 1v1. So you can actually close out the game, because ideally their life total should be low because of all the goading. So you should just be able to be like, all right, my team is unblockable. I'm just going to swing at you and just outpace whatever you're doing. Is the new goad spell? What's the new goad spell? Elk says hello. Hello, Light. Hello, Elk. Where did... What? Is Elk in the chat? Am I missing something? Let's look at some cuts. I think Bailoff is like, I found him to be like really overcosted for what he does in the Go decks. Sound of the Drums is fine. Vicious Shadows. Here's my problem with Vicious Shadows. The average Commander player doesn't play enough card draw. And because of that, this card doesn't do anything. Fast Forward from the Turtle Precon. Fast Forward. This spell costs 1 less for each opponent you attack this turn. Goad all creatures your opponents control. Oh, wait, that's actually really good. Fast Forward. Especially because Belly wants to attack. That's pretty good. Bloodthirsty Blade. Oh, yeah, of course. I do love Bloodthirsty Blade. But this isn't... Here's the thing, is I don't think they need Bloodthirsty Blade, because the problem Ruby's having is that they're losing in the 1v1 at the end of the game, which Bloodthirsty Blade doesn't help with. Their problem isn't that they aren't goading enough stuff. The hell does Sand Scout do again? Oh yeah. Recruit of the Guard, Ranger Captain, Felia, Mother Runes, Kami of False Hope. I don't know if we need Kami of False Hope, honestly. Your goat effects are already Pillow Fort effects. You know what I'm saying? Hello. You despise goading, now it's in all your pod decks. Oh. Here's the trick to beating goat. You want to know the trick to beating goat? Here's the secret. Don't play any creatures. If you don't play any creatures, and you're just some sort of spellslingery Pillow Forty deck, doesn't matter to you, does it? In fact, Pillow Fort effects hard counter goat. Here's the thing about goat is you can't force players to pay costs. So if you have a Ghostly Prison in play, then your opponent attacks that person, chooses not to pay, and nullifies the goad. Coronation of Chaos. Coronation? Is it coronation or coronation? Of Chaos. This. Until up to 3 target creatures can't block this turn, goad them. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, because there's a goad effect that in the 1v1 helps you get through damage. Yeah, that's neat. That's a good suggestion. Yeah, what up, Grim? I'm just doing some Patron deck reviews. Oh, it was already in the list. I missed it. Oh, damn. Yeah, no, Boros Charm is not in the list, but I don't know if it's necessary, because everything's kind of interchangeable. I forget which podcast it was on, but I think Snail was talking about it. I'm a huge fact of the Caves tutor package. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's just the tutor package episode. What happens if everyone has a propaganda effect and a creature is goaded? I'm pretty sure what happens is they select a player to attack, and then they just don't pay. Do I have a way to sign up, or is this just for patrons? This is just for patrons, yeah. Never need a creature in the commander format. Goes to the prison though, propaganda are for your enemies, yeah. Here's another fun fact about goad is goad forces you to attack a player, not a planeswalker, which is one of my favorite reasons that I actually really like Jessica Thrice Reborn in goad decks. Because one, you can triple the damage of a goaded creature, which is funny. But also, if a creature is goaded, it can't attack a planeswalker. So it sort of acts as a Pillow 40 effect for planeswalkers. Although I guess if they're goaded, they can't attack your planeswalker either. But in the 1v1, you can make it so they can't attack your planeswalker. What are the creature types looking like? Secret Tunnel's a good card. I think you could just play the more generic ones. Like Access Tunnel or whatever, but I don't think this deck struggles with that. I mean, like, yeah, but I mean, Boros Farm is good. I think they would add that if they needed it. I'm trying to fix the losing in the 1v1 scenario problem. Oh, Redemption Shark is cool. I like this card. I feel like I haven't used this before. I don't think we need Deflecting Palm. Your whole deck is a Deflecting Palm. Right? Like, everything's a Deflecting Palm if you're, you know, goading things. What does this do? Whenever it is... or a creature deals common damage for a player, goad each creature they control. Okay, that's not bad. Spirit of the Labyrinth is kind of interesting to slow down your opponents. Whenever one or more creatures, yeah, I guess it works well with Nelly. Okay. Starfield Shepherd. Eh. There is, excuse me, a hiccup. There is Insurrection already in the list. And Insurrection will win in not just the 1v1, just in the free-for-all. Okay, I think these are my main cuts. I think Bailout is overcosted for what it does. I think your deck is basically one big deflecting bomb. Same with Kami. Like, you're already fogging creatures and stuff all the time, functionally. Starfield Shepherd, probably too low impact. I don't know if there's anything you really need. Like, the Giver Runes or whatever, Mother Runes is, like, fine, but, you know. Vicious Shadows, I think, is not great in casual EDH. And I really like Jessica. I'm going to get rid of this. I really like Jessica. I really like Bedlam. I really like War Cadence to help you get in the 1v1. And then I like Symmetry Matrix and Mind's Eye, or maybe Seize the Spotlight, as like main ads. I think some combination of these 6 to add more like card draw and ways to get through blockers will really help out in the 1v1. Hot Pursuit. I think Hot Pursuit's already in. I'm not really sure. Maybe not. Yeah, it's already in. Okay. All right. I hope that was useful, Ruby. But yeah, I think a lot of these, like when you have Bedlam and Jessica in play in the 1v1, and you just go like, my Death Kiss hits you for like 15 unblockable, like it'll do a lot of damage. You can close out games pretty quick. All right. Moving on, I'm gonna do the last list here. Let's just do this Saskia list. Now I remember I was messaging you earlier about it, and the idea is just like pure Saskia beatdown, if I recall correctly. I had the list here or something. Oh, wait, the goal of the deck is to go wide with tokens and creatures, equip them. Yeah. Okay. It's been a hot minute since you looked at one of your decks. Yeah, I think I saw. I think you posted this last month and I missed it, so I'm glad I got to one now. Okay, the Saskia list. I remember I looked at it a little bit earlier, but I wasn't able to actually put together like a form an opinion. But if I recall correctly, I think I said you had like it was like too much equipment and not enough crap to equip to. But you've, I think, modified the deck since then. Interesting. Winds of Abandoned, Balagad, Armageddon. Let's clear the sideboard here. Well. Oh, I didn't copy the list. That's why I can't. I'm stupid. I was wondering why I couldn't modify this. When you say Saskia, I just hear Sasuke. Oh man, it's been a long time since I thought about Sasuke. Real talk, I was never that big into Naruto. I feel like, I don't know, I was always more of a One Piece guy. I mean, I still read One Piece. I did end up reading all of Naruto still. But I always like One Piece and like Zatch Bell better. Does anybody even remember Zatch Bell? Okay. Okay, so Saskia, if people don't know, it's like a 3/4 Vigilance Haste. When it enters, you choose a player. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much to the chosen player. So you hit one person, you hit the other person. Am I a One Piece fan? Where are you at chapter-wise? I'm caught up. I've caught up on the manga completely. Deck feels like it needs to be faster. You cut some untapped lands. Okay. Yeah, dude, One Piece is so good, so good. Um, and honestly, the live action is like pretty good. It's like the first live action anime that they actually gave a shit about the source material and like made it not dog water. Although you should just read the manga, if I'm being real. You Saskia like a finisher. You don't find yourself casting until you need her. Okay. So here's an interesting suggestion / proposition. The thing is, what we want is to set up a board state where we have dudes that can attack. Then you play Saskia and you like thermonuclear bomb 2 players. And then, yeehaw, we've done a lot of damage. Problem is, the board gets clogged. The board gets, full of crap. Now, I notice you have Winds of Abandon here. And I actually like exactly where this is going. I think we want well, there's like a couple ways we can do this. Let's add some of these. I'll talk about them. So if you are interested, if you just want to alpha strike, if you're like, I want to set up for an alpha strike, Insurrection is crazy with Saskia, right? Like if you have Saskia out and you Insurrection, that player you're probably killing 2 players at least. In Garruk's Wake kind of does a similar thing because it's a one-sided board wipe. And then Taunt from the Ramparts also does a very similar thing. You go to all creatures your opponents control, and then they can't block until next turn. So this also gives you a way to like alpha strike in. Additionally, we can do a lot of the same stuff that I suggested in the previous one to play things like Bedlam. Simply making it so things can't block means we're doing so much more damage than we're banking on the fact that we're going to be doing more damage than our opponents. We're hitting 2 players at once, so we're able to pressure and put so much more damage on that by just playing something like Bedlam, we've already broken parity. Because if you have an Ember Cleave on this thing, and you have Saskia in play, like it's just like a gajillion damage, and they're probably not able to clap back as hard. I don't know if we want ramp in this or not. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of lots of ramp in aggro decks, depending on the way we go with this. If you want to set up for the Alpha Strike, which obviously these are high cost cards, right? Winds of Abandon is 6 to overload, this is 8 mana, this is 9 mana or whatever, then we're going to need to pair these with, like Darkseer says, you're going to need some green ramp to go with this. You're in 4 colors, but you're in green, so you can just play any of the green ramp. If you just want to play like all the 3 visits style effects, you play all of those kind of things, and you have triomes and stuff in here, right? Yeah, you play the triomes and the surveil lands and blah blah blah, and you should be able to color fix and ramp pretty easy. And then you go like turn 2, play a 3 visits effect, and to some Chishiro, and then from there equip it with something, play Saskia, do some pressure. That's like a reasonable curve. The other way to do the curve is to not do ramp and play more, and instead of going for this alpha strike thing, sort of play more things that let us be more evasive and aggressive. So more Mother of Runes types effects, where we're like, okay, Mother of Runes early game. So when I play my Saskia, it's got Vigilance and Haste. I name you, give my thing protection from whatever, hit you for 3 immediately. That's 3 damage to the next person. Stuff like that. I think if we were to look up Mother of Runes, here we'd probably see other sort of aggressive-y creatures. Like this could be a Winota angle. We'd have to see what the creature types are like, but more aggressive, snowbally things like this could be the play. More evasive creatures. Nature's Lore gets you triumphs. Yeah. Well, sorry, when I say 3 visits effects, I mean like, Nature's Lore, 3 visits, Farseek, all of those ones. Sky Shroud Claim is 4 mana, and I do see a world where you want to be casting Saskia and start pressuring earlier, and I don't know how much you want 4 mana ramp. It will depend a little bit. Combat Celebrant. Combat Celebrant is another if we look at the mana costs of our cards here, right? Imagine you go turn 1 Mother of Runes, turn 2 Strike Leader, turn 3 Combat Celebrant, turn 4 Saskia, and then exert your Combat Celebrant. How much damage is that? And if somebody went turn 2 Rampant Growth, turn 3 Cultivate, they're open, suddenly you're hitting them for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 2 for the extra combat, 18, and then you've hit another player for 18. So, on turn 4, if they're taking the slow approach and they went ramp spell, you're like, I've taken 2 players down to half their life total. So, there's a world where it makes sense to have no ramp and just be aggressive like that. And it's going to come down to how many of those 3 and 2 cost aggressive creatures we have. Now, what do you cut to make either of those things work is honestly a lot of things like Imperial Recruiter. Tutors are good, don't get me wrong, and they're efficient at finding the cards you need specifically. But if you're an aggressive deck, playing a 3 mana 1/1 sucks. This card's booty for you, right? It doesn't actually do any damage. It doesn't get you towards your win con. Instead of playing an Imperial Recruiter that tutors you for an aggressive creature, it's usually better to have 2 aggressive creatures, because then you're going to just always have an aggressive creature, right? So I think, axing some of these things to just play more aggressive stuff makes more sense, because you would usually rather have the Pure Steel Paladin or the SRAM and start getting value from playing your equipments immediately, Also, I want to suggest, can we do the Pip Boy? The card's actually so good. And if we want to lean into that more aggressive route, I think that might be better. Selfless Spirit's really good. Creatures like this too, because Selfless Spirit with your commander chunks in for 4 damage, functionally, and also has other utility. But 0 ramp is going to get punished hard by board wipes. Less mana to rebuild. If you're going for aggro curve, you need to compensate that with a ton of card draw. Yes and no. Because here's the thing: is that only happens if the board wipe happens before you kill your opponent, right? Totally a board wipe would be bad for your aggro deck, but if you kill them before they play the board wipe, who cares, right? And then that's another reason why things like Selfless Spirit is really good in a deck like this. Things that have additional random utility, where it can be a creature you play on 2 that just chunks in for damage here and there. And then also, now the Selfless Spirit's in play, they need a spot removal spell and a board wipe, or 2 board wipes, you know? In playtesting, you find you get a decent amount of draw. Yeah, I mean, you have like SRAM and stuff, and I think we do add, Toski. Which Toski also indestructible and card advantage. Yeah, what up, Chara? Yeah, it's been a while. It's, you know, this tanks the board wipe and draws you more cards afterwards. I do really want like Boros Charm in a list like this too. Because what a lot of aggro decks are going to come down to in EDH is one person finds the board wipe and they're going to try and use it to survive. And if you tank it in some way with a Boros Charm, they probably are out of options. You know what I'm saying? Is Toski in the list? I don't see it. Oh, wait, there it is. Oh, why didn't it, oh, weird. It didn't say it was a duplicate. Interesting. Blade Historian's crazy. I mean, your mana base it might be a little tricky to support this card, but this card is insane. Sarah's Ascendant. I love Sarah's Ascendant. This card is super crazy with Saskia because it's just gonna crack in for like 12. Toski and Auron are they're found by Imperial Recruiter. I know they're found by Imperial Recruiter, but that's so slow. It's so slow. You know what I'm saying? Is Symmetry Matrix really worth it if only 19 out of 33 creatures can activate it? Well, think about this. Symmetry Matrix works with 19 cards in your deck. That's 20% of your list. That's 1 in 5 cards it triggers. I don't know if it's really worth it, to be honest. I think it's just funny. Maybe it's not that worth it. Glorious Protector. Flying Flash when it enters the battlefield, you may exile an verb. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's 4 mana though, which is like, yeah. Do you think you change some of the MDFCs? Maybe. If there are ones that enter tapped, maybe. I might cut all the tap lands for as much untapped lands as possible, just because I think you just want to be aggressive. The problem with aggro and commander is if you wait too many turns, they're just gonna have too many resources, and you'll be 3v1'd. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can play Winota. Now that I'm looking at your list. So I just want to look at Selfless Spirit real quick. See if we can find some other Selfless Spirit adjacent cards. Something that provides protection. Not really seeing anything. No, nothing useful. I do like Loyal Apprentice. It was actually pretty good. Maybe it's a little too low impact for this deck. Oh, what's that, Withering Torment, even though you have white enchantment removal? Like that they have... Oh, yeah. This is Withering Torment. Are we running Generous Gift and Beast Within? Yeah, let me get back to this for 1 second. I'm trying to remember a card. It's like the enchantment that like gets an oil counter, makes like a trampoline dude every turn. Urbrass Forge. Yeah. This card's really good. It's another really good aggressive card that again kind of tanks through board wipes because it just makes a new dude every turn. And you know, this thing's actually really powerful early game. Yeah, Withering Torment, I'm not a huge fan of just because we're already in these colors. And honestly, And I don't do this often. I usually avoid recommending cutting, removal, or card draw. But I really feel like this deck, because you say it's not fast enough, right? You're saying it's not fast enough. Every time you draw a removal spell, that could be something that does damage in attacks, means, you're behind in terms of speed. I actually do think this is a list where you could go down on your amount of removal and just cut Withering Torment for a more aggressive piece. Because if you think your aggro deck is too slow, it probably means you're clogged up with too much like other crap. You don't want to go down to 0, but it is useful to have. Also, I don't know how good the card is really, but it is funny. Magnetic Theft is kind of neat. You attach an equipment to a creature, so it lets you steal from opponents, but also it lets you skip an equip cost, which can be useful. It's instant speed, so you can, attack with 2 creatures, and if they block 1, you're like, cool, I'll just, Magnetic Theft move my Ember Cleave over to the other creature. Kind of cool. Triumph of the Horde is extremely good with Saskia. This is correct. So Triumph of the Hordes is crazy with Saskia for many reasons. If you don't know, so Saskia, whenever a creature you control deals damage to a player, it deals that much damage to the chosen player, right? So the creature deals the damage, which means if you give your creatures Infect with Triumph of the Hordes, when all your creatures then ping your opponent with Saskia's effect, that is Infect damage as well, and it lets you instantly kill 2 players. Oh, you cut it for the white. That makes sense. Magnetic Theft isn't very good. It's just kind of funny. I wanted to mention it. But it is kind of bad. I want to build a Dan deck with Magnetic Theft in it. We just steal equipment from the other people. That'd be really funny. I want to find some more cuts. Thali's Lancers is at least a 4/4 with first strike. It does hold equipment well. See, I don't know. Here's the thing: is like I'm kind of iffy on Thali's Lancers, Felia, in aggressive decks like this. Like this is like a grindy value engine. And, like, that's fine if that's what you want to go. But if you're like, my aggro deck is too slow, then these grindy value engines are, like, not what you need. You need more aggro pieces and more protection to tank board wipes. All right, I'll leave you with these cuts. And this is another list that, you can always submit it again if you tested something out and you find it didn't work or whatever. But here's my thought process. I'm coming at this with 2 angles. Is we add more green ramp and you make this more mid-rangey, and with the additional green ramp, you play Insurrection, Garruk's Wake type things and your Winds of Abandon in an attempt to alpha strike, like set up for a big alpha strike kind of plan. Alternatively, you stick with the no ramp, we cut some of the value engines and just play more aggressive pieces and protection. So more Selfless Spirit, more Boros Charm, and then add like Urbrass Forge and Combat Celebrant, like these early game aggressive pieces, and just try and kill your opponents and tank the board wipe a little bit faster. I think those are kind of 2 ways to go, right? No, I get what the Lancers is for. Like, I get that it's for finding Cloud. I understand that. But it is a 5-mana 4/4. Doesn't really do anything. And you're playing this in a no-ramp aggro deck, which means you're not finding and putting Cloud into play until like turn 6, which is so late. And for your 5-drop to not be Taunt from the Ramparts, which makes your whole team unblockable and goads everybody, which forces a ton of damage. Like, I think like Taunt from the Ramparts is just a better aggressive piece for 5 mana. It's gonna like if you curve out or you go, turn 1, Pit Boy or something, or Mother of Runes, whatever. Well, let's say turn 1 Mother of Runes, turn 2 Strike Leader, turn 3 Combat Celebrant, turn 4 Saskia, turn 5 Taunt from the Rampart, you can probably kill 2 players. Like, you know, or at least get very close. Like, that is going to be a huge amount of damage. And I think that's just so much faster and more aggressive than playing Thalia's Lancers to get your Felia, to blink the Lancers, to play your Cloud. Now, of course, if you want to do that and play 4-color mid-range, like, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're, you know, if you're coming to me and you're saying, hey, my aggro deck is too slow, then those are the things I'm going to recommend cutting. Does that make sense? I would cut both the recruiters too. I wouldn't run any of these. I would just play more random aggro creatures. I think the idea of having like a random aggressive creature versus a tutor for a guaranteed aggressive creature next turn is like better, right? Because you always want the aggressive creature earlier. So you'd rather just have more so you always find it. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully that all makes sense. I know that was like a bit of a convoluted explanation. I think you could even go even slimmer and like trim some stuff like this and just play like even more, you know, I just want to find more combat celebrant like esque aggressive cards that are in the like 2 to 3 mana range, you know? Either something disruptive, like I guess you could play a Dranith Magistrate on 2 if you wanted, just to like give yourself more time. But like, I don't know, like a Bastion Protector is like pretty sweet. Boromir is like a really good 3-drop to play in this because it protects your team. There's more stuff like that. You could play Faber Elder because he does get big and has vigilance and can be ramp. So it kind of lets you do ramp while also doing other stuff, which is neat. But yeah, but I feel like I just want more like more aggro stuff. Like this is like a reasonable Ragavan deck. Really, you want more. You really want more Sarah's Ascendants, but there's not that many. Oh, is Boromir in the deck? Why does it keep letting me add duplicates? I don't know why it's letting me add Boromir twice. Yeah, alright. Shit, I went longer than I intended to. I am going to call it there. Thank you to all my patrons for joining. Thanks to everybody for supporting. Patrons and channel members, I will hopefully soon be reviewing the bonus video, and I'll get that out probably tomorrow-ish. So new bonus content for patrons and channel members coming soon. If you want to get the deck reviews, patrons link below. Maybe because of the alt arts? Yeah, maybe. What about the red dude that makes your commanders spread damage? Oh, Kedis? Yeah. There we go. Things like that. Yes. Cards like Kedis is what you want. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining. I am going to